Hello, Professor Sargent here with you again. And today I'd like to talk about some ways of combining functions to come up with new functions. As a teacher, it's something that I have to do a lot. And you may find in what you're studying and then what you wind up doing in your career that it happens for you as well. For example, in computing grades, I have to take grades from homeworks, from quizzes, and from exams, add those up, come up with a final average. So you can think of there being a function for figuring out what your average is for homework, what your average is for quizzes, etc. Then when you get the final average, taking that output and putting it into another function to come up with a letter grade of A or B or C, etc. So, taking a look at this first example, we've got g of x equals 3x and h of x equals x minus 5. And we're asked to compute g plus h of negative 2. As well as g plus h of 3. Followed by g minus h of negative 4. And g minus h of 2. On the one hand, we could evaluate g and h separately and then add them up in number 1. Well, that would give us 3 times negative 2 is negative 6. And negative 2 minus 5 is negative 7 for a result of negative 13. And then similarly, putting in 3 into g, that's 9. 3 minus 5 is negative 2 for a sum of 7. However, that's not so bad if you only have to do 1 or 2. What if we have to keep working with these two functions over and over again and add the results? Why not come up with a formula? Notice here I had to do 1, 2, 3 operations. The multiplication, the subtraction, and then adding. I could instead add the two functions. And combine the like terms to get 4x minus 5. Now if I put in negative 2, I'm only going to have 2 operations to do. Multiply and subtract. 4 times negative 2 is negative 8. And negative 8 minus 5 is the negative 13. If I put in the 3, 4 times 3 is 12. And 12 minus 5 is the 7. So similarly, with subtraction, I could either evaluate separately, technically what I'm doing there, when I'm evaluating separately, is saying that these are equal, then I'd get negative 12 minus Negative 4 minus 5 is negative 9. Negative 12 minus a negative 9 is the same as adding a positive 9, so I get negative 3. When I put in the 2, 3 times 2 is 6. 2 minus 5 is negative 3. 6 plus 3 gives me 9. Whereas if I compute what the difference function is, (3x minus x minus 5). I have to be careful, I'm subtracting this whole thing. That's going to change the sign of both the x and the 5. Combining the like terms, I get that the difference function is 2x plus 5. So now if I plug in negative 4, it's going to give me negative 8 plus 5, same result of negative 3. And if I put in 2, 2 times 2 is 4, 4 plus 5 is 9. Having these simplified functions, when we have to put in values of x into the same sum or difference over and over again, it'd be a lot easier to come up with the simplified sum function or difference function and start plugging in there.